an idea to come on here and talk about androgyny, which means neither distinctly masculine, but neither distinctly feminine. So a mixture of both, masculine and feminine, a good equal. And when I'm speaking on androgyny is speaking on as far as my fashion sense. And I wasn't always like this. I would consider myself a tomboy now, but I wasn't always like that. When I was a little girl, I was forever in pigtails. My pajamas had to match. Wait. I always wanted those fake little nails, those press-on nails. When I was younger, they used to be on the aisles, the grocery market aisles, you know, for the kids to grab and be like, Mom, I want these. Anyways, I always wanted nails when I was a little girl. So I was very, very big girly girl. Very, very big girly girl. And I loved it. I liked being a girly girl, obviously. Like I said, my pajamas always needed to match. I wanted nails. I remember wearing my mom's heels and always wanted those fake little plastic heels for little girls. And then, and I also loved my brother. My brother was like, if I could be like anyone, I wanted to be my brother. I was always following him around and yada, yada, yada. Anyways, and then something around my 20s, I think, something changed. I realized I didn't have to be. I realized I liked doing what the supposed guys were doing. Meaning, I'm like, I want to learn how to carpentry. I want to learn how to weld. I want to learn how to yada, 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 fill in the blanks. Do a manly thing, a boy's boy, man shit. And so then, when I was an adult and realized I totally could, why the hell not? That's when I noticed my fashion sense started changing. And I used to work for a boutique called Pretty Please in San Diego. And I loved it. I freaking loved it. And I love my fashion. Hi, Shannon. I'm talking about androgyny in my fashion aesthetic. And so I used to work at a boutique and I was very proud of it. And I loved working with fashion. Hi, Sammy. Hi, T Dan. Hi, Big Tascat. Okay, what? Oh, got it. And so I wanted to come on here and just talk about that for some reason as I get dressed for class. I'm wearing my youth boys, excuse me. Woo, excuse me. My boys' youth Old Navy jeans that I got on sale for like $8. I'm wearing a youth, I'm sure, regular black t-shirt that I got from a thrift store. And I'm going to be wearing my Irish tweed cap today. Very, very tomboyish, right? But like earlier in the week, I was wearing a dress. Last week, I wore my Lululemon tennis skirt. And so what I'm saying is there are some days where I love to curl my hair and put on a full face of makeup, which I always wear makeup, by the way. Thank you. Bless you. I always wear makeup, by the way. And I wear heels, or I don't always wear heels, by the way. And I wear heels. So what I'm saying is there are days where I am very, very tomboy, and I've been called a lesbian quite a bit, actually. But I think the other thing that I realized too, or after my brother passed, I noticed my fashion sense changed a little bit more. Because I loved my brother, and I still do, obviously, but he passed away. But I realized I wanted to be just like my brother growing up. I would follow him everywhere. And so and then I realized after he passed that he had a big influence on not only my music sense and who I am as a person, obviously, right? Our siblings can contribute a lot to our personalities. But he contributed a lot to my fashion sense. I have a lot of his shirts that I used to wear when I was bigger. And because I realized I wanted to be like him, I started doing and not caring that I was very androgynistic. I mean, very. To the point where my partner now, when we first got together, he would tell me all the time, "You're just like a boy." I know. If you have a problem with that, sorry, not sorry. Like, that's just my aesthetic. And again, one day you'll see me in a dress, heels, you know, my hair curled, and I look like a girl, very much a girly girl. And then, like, today you'll see me and you'll be like, who is that? And I'm very, very, oh, wrong thing, forgot something. And I'm very, very, I wouldn't say masculine, but I'm very, very tomboyish, right? Which is okay by me. Again, I've been called a lesbian a lot. How many times I've been called a lesbian? A lot. Can you shout out my friend? His username is It's Plinko. It's Plinko. Hi, Plinko. It's Plinko. How you doing? Hi, Kitty. Hi, y'all. How do you guys feel about androgyny in a woman, not in a man? I mean, in a man too, in a man as well. Excuse me. It can be very cool. It's just a lot of men, not to be mean, but I haven't found a lot of men who can pull it off. And like Harry Styles can pull it off. There are certain men that can pull it off, right? But most of the time I find that it's very attractive on women. So how do you guys feel about androgyny? Hey, Ray. I'm 41. How old are you? Lesbians are mean. Are mean or mean? What do you mean? Or lesbians are men? Is that what you mean, Robbie? I like androgyny in women, not in lesbians. Oh, cool. Jesus Christ, what? I like androgyny in a woman. I'm saying in a man, it can be very cool. Like the other day I was on Instagram and I saw a rapper, nonetheless, who was very androgynistic, meaning like even his whole thing was like, oh, when you date a woman and you let her go through your closet. And let's be honest, I'm going to be honest, I would have loved to go through his closet. But he was also very, very effeminate. So it's kind of a fine line for men to be androgynistic. And that's just me saying that because I've only seen very, very few. Like I said, the one that I can tell you right off the back that can pull it off is, what did I say his name was? Anyways, I can't remember his name now. Pop singer. But very, very few men can pull that off. To me. My opinion. But so anyways, I was coming on here to just say that one day I can be my aesthetic is very manly. Not manly. Let's take that back. Is very masculine. For a living, Robbie, Ray, excuse me. Right now, I am finishing up cosmetology school so I can start my own business. At 18, what do you do for a living? Are you going to school? What are you planning on doing? And where are you from? So yeah. Some days it's weird though because like my my casual style and what I wear casually for casual wear tends to be, oh, nice. You're Canadian. I am from the Coachella Valley, which is not that far from me, and we do get a lot of Canadians. I'd like to go to Canada someday, but I can never go to Canada unless they change their law about DUIs. I unfortunately got a DUI when I was young. I learned my lesson, by the way, but in order for any non-citizen Canadian citizen to go to Canada, you cannot have a DUI. And if you do, you have to contact the Canadian government and write them a whole thing about when, where, why it happened, and if you learned your lesson. And then they can tell you whether you can enter into their border or not. Anyways, but I hear it's beautiful. So there are some days where I do dress very masculine, and yes, it does, or like I was saying, is that my casual style tends to be very, very masculine. Not very, but tends to be kind of masculine. Luckily, in style and trend nowadays, fashion trend, women are wearing very masculine, like baggy shirts, baggy pants, and all that other stuff. So it's kind of cool to be a little masculine, but we're not always like that. So anyways, but there are days where I do tend to be very androgynistic, and I do feel a little awkward because I do walk out sometimes and like, oh, I do look, no offense, but I do look lesbian. And it kind of bothers me a little bit because I'm not. And how would my guy feel, you know? Anyways, and like I said, I have been called lesbian a lot. Simply because I guess I dress masculine. I don't know. Anyways, why I wanted to come on here and talk about that, I have no idea. So that's all. How does everybody else feel about androgyny? There's no one else on here. Okay, bye. That's okay. No worries. But yeah, I wonder if anybody else, I'll leave comments open after this. I wonder if anybody else feels that way, and or if any other females out here do dress very boyish sometimes or feel like they're a tomboy. And how do you feel when you are dressed like a tomboy? Does it bother you sometimes? And what part bothers you? Does it bother you when society looks at you differently? Do you feel like you're bothered? Because I know I feel bothered by it sometimes because society. And yeah, because society. I'm very, very, I'm saying I'm very feminine. And I think the other reason why I am drawn towards androgynous women is because I am bi. But I honestly think I'm bi because of the stuff that happened to me as a child, as a little girl, you know. So, anyways, I think I've divulged enough information of myself for the day. And I got to get going to class. So, I hope everybody has a good day, good night, wherever you are. And keep rocking your aesthetic. And keep doing what you're doing and how you feel comfortable. And I decided to dress the way that I dress because 1, I want to, obviously, and 2, because I'm an American, I get to, and 3, because it's a form of self-expression, which is why I love tattoos, which is why I don't have very many, which is why I love piercings, which is why I love anything that has to do with self-expression. So if I can do it, which is why I love an afro. If I could have an afro, oh my God, I'd be so happy. Which is why I love expressing myself through my fashion, because it's the first thing, your appearance, and unfortunately, first impressions mean a lot in this world and in human beings. So everybody keep doing what they're doing. As long as you feel good, as long as you're not hurting anyone, meaning literally physically hurting anyone by expressing yourself, physically hurting anyone by expressing yourself, you keep doing what you're doing. That's what the world needs more of. Authentic people. I love saying this, and it's true, and I love that it's true, that I love people who are unapologetically themselves. So keep being unapologetically you, and you'll find that one day you'll wake up, if you don't already, wake up and say, this is not my beautiful life. And that's being sarcastic, meaning like you'll wake up and find that, if you don't already, that you're in the life that you created. Because why? You create your reality. And you have the opportunity to be who you want to be. That's the beauty of being a human being, you know. I say that, but I don't know where you were born and how you're growing up. But the beauty of being human, to me, is that we get to feel feelings, you know, love, fear, hate, jealousy, all the feelers. Because we don't know that animals don't feel all the feels, right? We don't know that plants don't feel them, but we do know that we feel them. So that's the beauty of being human. The other part of that is that we get to change that and be who you want to be. I know I am. I don't remember who sang that. Be what I want to be. Now I'm going to try to remember who sings it. I know I am. Anyways, that's all. Keep being you. Rocking out with your privates out. Okay, bye.